Oh my God, the fam is here live. And why aren't you? Why are you sitting there watching YouTube? Huh? That's okay. I appreciate that. Everybody helps out. Thank you so much. But next time, be here live, damn it. With the fam. Be professional. Today, Inside Star Citizen. And that means Inside Star Citizen review. I am back from my zombie apocalypse Umbrella Corp kind of Resident Evil 2-week episode, which I had talked about on my last stream. That will be released on a Sunday morning to the YouTubes, so you guys know what's been happening with me. I'm back now. Daddy's back. And because I am back now, the content is also back, and it's good to be back. I feel good. Thank you guys for energizing me. I'm feeling damn good. Tonight, we got a special. I'm doubling down. Now on YouTube, you're just going to get the Inside Star Citizen review. But I had quite a few DMs in the Discord. DMs in the Discord! Yes. And those DMs said the following. Thank you, Dutch. Thank you. He's here for the vag. He's here for the vag. It's that value-added gameplay. It's not wrong to say. We're talking about games. What did you think we were talking about? Dirty minds. You guys got dirty minds. I mean, come on. It's games. After this, we are going to be watching Death of a Spaceman because I had so many DMs saying, I want to watch you react to Death of a Spaceman. So that will be happening shortly after this Inside Star Citizen review. Apollo, he said he took a break from SC. He wanted the new content. He wanted new vag. You see? He came for that new vag. He's here now. He's enjoying it. And that new vag will soon be his go-to vag. That's why he's here. That's why he's here. He hasn't tasted this vag. Wait. Okay, let's start the show. Let's start the show. By the way, grab your refreshments. I am drinking tonight a whiskey by the name of Elijah Craig. It's very good. Recommend it to the adults out there. It's delicious. It's actually the perfect drink for tonight. Let's watch Heir of Refinement. Now, this episode, okay, let me preface this. I do not want refining to be a one-button push thing. I think this is what we're looking for in today's episode here. On this review, I think what we put in the crosshairs, fam, okay, is will refining just be click one button and you're done? Because I'm telling you, I've got the fingers out right now. I'm expressing some attitude. I'm telling you, if it's a one click, one button push thing, I will be very upset that we spent tonight watching that it's a one button, one push event. I don't want that. No. We're refining to have some depth. Okay. Thank you, Erad. Thank you. Don't spoil it too much for me, but thank you. That makes me feel better. Erad coming in, calming down the nerves, because he knows if I go rant mode, it's the end of the show. Actually, it's just the beginning. Because then everybody comes in and goes, oh, DJ's ranting. You better get over here. So maybe I'll just rant for shits and giggles. No, okay, let's start the show. All right, it's looking sexy inside.
The mining system to all of the other systems that we really want to sort of focus on in the future. Things like cargo and crafting and anything that would basically allow a player to create things within the universe. So you would typically go out in your mining vehicle, your prospector, your mole, and you would try and find asteroids with preferably valuable materials.
Right.
So the general idea that we want to put across to players is that you can go out and mine anything you want, but you might also want to be paying a bit more attention to the materials that you're actually bringing.
Look at this crazy miner. Look at this crazy guy. This guy never mined a day in his life. What is he doing? Focus that laser. Focus that laser, son. Please find the weak spot in that and then hit it.
of these materials, which would be more valuable and sell for more
What'd he draw?
than
What'd he draw?
basic raw materials that you were getting from the asteroid in the first place. When you create your job, you will toggle the refine or discard on each individual material in the cargo.
I saw. I know he
did. Allow you to then do
it just kind of clicked,
select the processing type that you would typically want to choose, and you can click the get quote button. And what this will do is it polls our backend systems and the refinery system itself to determine the current cost and price and duration of that job in the universe at that exact time. The numbers that you're seeing here as well, the cost of the jobs, the yield that you're getting out, the value of what these materials will end up being ultimately when the patch is released, are subject to change. They're currently going through several balancing passes and are not final, so please no one freak out. Everything you see in ISC is work in progress.
Wait a second. That's great.
Also function under a capacity system. There's no limit to the number of jobs they can actually run at any one time, but obviously the higher that you go, the higher that number of the percentage of refinery capacity is, the more the job is going to cost, and it's down then to the player to determine, is this job worth me doing here, or am I basically going to lose money by running a job here when I could take it somewhere else? Refineries additionally also have proficiencies. You could perhaps find a refinery that is extremely good at processing Quantanium, and therefore they will offer you more in the way of yield when you commit the job to them. Typically, this is to encourage players to shop around.
Wait a second. This is a different approach altogether. I'm not quite sure I like it, but it makes a little bit of sense that each refining deck and each different station has different proficiencies, has different outputs, has different quality to them based upon conditioning of the machinery is where I'm guessing they're taking it in terms of like a narrative, in terms of like an immersive kind of quality, what they're doing or what they are saying, at least from my initial get-go from this, is that different stations will give you different outputs because different refining decks. Interesting. I will say this, they better be careful on how they're planning the base outputs on every single refinery deck that they're going to install into the game, because perhaps what ends up happening with this style of design is eventually one of the refineries will give you the highest output, and that refinery will be jam-packed. Interesting. Perhaps some of the refineries that are in lawful space should have lower outputs. Perhaps. Throwing a curveball on that one. Right? That too. That as well, sir. Sir says also capacity load keeps you metaing, keeps you going around looking. This is hitting me in a weird exotic type of flavor right now. I'm going to have to keep watching to let it kind of like percolate here. I'm not quite sure yet. Not quite sure if I like that setup, but it's different. I will give them that. That is a different approach. We know it's not going to be skill-based because there are no skills in the game. So essentially, they're flipping the script. Since there's no skilling in the game, which I like, and I have talked about why I like it, because you're bringing your real-life knowledge into the game in the career that you choose, and I happen to like the fact that they don't have skilling in the game. What they're doing is they are flipping the script, and they are making the places that you go to essentially have different skills. It's quite interesting. That's an interesting approach. Different. Exotic. Right. So if you're in a situation where you don't want to travel all over the place, perhaps there's a refining deck, right, just for you that does all of them. So you don't have to go to different areas and does it just enough to give you that yield that you want. Or perhaps you want the maximum yield. Also, what type of ship do you have, right? Where are you going to go? Are you going to go to that super dangerous refining deck set out there in unlawful space and get that mega yield? Get that mega meta? But you could blow up. See, it's getting more exciting the more I think about this. Yes, good question, Damon. We're going to talk more about that as we see Quanta start to hit. Damon brings up a wonderful point. He says, I wonder how they're going to balance the prices and make mining profitable with a 90-10 NPC split. Apparently, the algorithm is just going to magically make it okay. Now, I'm not going to apply myself to that kind of thinking, Damon. You understand? Because I am naturally a skeptic. So I have to see this algorithm, this Quanta work before I start getting into episodes and videos like that. Good question, though, Damon. Good question.
Around for the best bargains. Jobs can be anywhere from a few minutes to several hours, depending on the size of the job, the processing type you chose, and the general amount of work and capacity that the refinery is currently at. So jobs can be either created and left until their duration expires, but if you're out and about when a job finishes, you will receive a notification on your visor that states that the job that you completed at the refinery in question has finished. Or you can cancel early and receive
16 minutes on that job.
Process.
16 minutes on that job. I'm starting to like this. This isn't a click it and forget it, or this isn't a click it and get it type scenario here. I'm kind of digging that. This isn't like click, boom, done, magical processing done. No, this is a click. Here's something for 16 minutes you have to wait. This brings about really interesting ideas for me. I start to think to myself like, hey, bring in more game development in terms of things to do at the station, right? Talking with people at the station, creating new deals while you're sitting there talking with other people, right? You got this thing brewing in the refining deck. You're waiting. You sit around, grab yourself a hot dog, get yourself a drink, sit down, talk to people while it's refining, stay in the station, or perhaps go back out and mine, right? I like this. I like this now. Click it and bing, done. I like it. I like that.
Materials at the cost of discarding the rest. This is to give players the option of claiming a job when maybe all of the quantanium in the job.
I like the setup too. I like the way they've laid this out
too. Cancel a job early because they feel like they're going to get enough from it. So ultimately what we wanted to do is we wanted to provide the players with more choice. It's important that we allow players to make bad decisions, but it's also important that we give them all the information that they need to make the good decisions. Whether this is the miner that could decide to just sell his raw materials and cut his losses, or go to the refinery and run it through their system and then come out with ultimately more resources that would be worth a lot more in the way of currency. And we feel these are interesting gameplay scenarios that would benefit the players.
When refining comes online in the upcoming Alpha 3.12, it will be the next step in not only the further development of the mining profession, but also tying it in with the continuing evolution of cargo hauling.
Erad wants a special request on this episode. We will do that for you. What panel are we going back to? Huh? What did I miss? What did I miss? You gonna show me something here on the screen? Show it to me. Show it to me, Erad. When we do these lives, sometimes I miss something very important, something very valuable. All right, the figures. I can't really see that well. Can't really see. What are we looking at here? A little too small for me. Once I refine. More hidden genitals. Maybe we're going to talk more about space herpes there. No. You're going to have some waste, right? You can set up, so Erad says you can set in which ship your refined cargo boxes will go to. Oh, nice catch on that, Erad. Nice catch on that one, dude. Very nice. That's a spicy meatball. I like that. All right. Yes. Right? Yes, sir. Exactly, man. Exactly. So you literally have to know your game. Essentially, like you are going to be somebody who's going to focus on this level of gameplay and become very detailed and make good decisions, or you're just not going to give a shit and make bad decisions, and therefore you'll get an edge if you're into this type of gameplay. Right. Interesting. See, and Effigy brings up a good point as well. And Effigy says, I would think that the refined materials would go to an area where they would be stored in the cargo decks. That would be wonderful. In fact, if they refine these goods and had an area like that, that would be really fun. I would like that too as well in Effigy. An area where you can hold those assets. That's actually a wonderful idea in Effigy. I would love that additional step. That's something I think that the community should bring up. That is something that I think the community should bring up, though. Right. They don't have the tech for that. Or perhaps they could use... they couldn't use building blocks for that. Could they? They could use the inventory management. Well, the building blocks is just a UI parameter setup. What about the cargo decks? What if you took the refining decks and merged it with the cargo decks? If there was both at the same station. So, for instance, you refine the goods, and then not only do you have the option on which ship or where you're going to be placing it in regards to ships, but if there was a cargo deck on station, you could then load up your goods to the cargo deck. Now, that would be killer gameplay. That is what I would actually prefer. Because as a trader dealing in a lot of commodities, I don't always want to just deal with this kind of A to B ship gameplay, right? Like, if you put yourself in the shoes of a trader, of a commodities trader, these physical commodities, you need some place to store them, right? I think down the road, what we're looking for is we just don't want like A to B ship kind of placement when it comes to our game development. We also want to think about the overall grand scheme of things and have the ability to store assets somewhere. Woo! Damon says, you want to be a trader? Get a merchant. Yeah, so like I don't want the gameplay to be solely dictated by just the ship though, Damon. You know what I mean? Where like people are saying, oh, you want to be a commodities trader? You want to have the ability to hold a vast amount of wealth, a vast amount of commodities? Well, then you're going to need the merchantman to do it, and that's the only way you can do it. Then I would say, I need more than that. You understand? You understand that comment? I know Damon does. All right, let's get back. Thank you. Good talking point, Erad. Thank you for that, man. Thank you for that, because that was a wonderful, wonderful little talking point in the show. That's why I like this show. And this is why I love the fact that devs come in, they watch this show, they present these ideas to the SIG management. I love it.
Upcoming Alpha 3.12, it will be the next step in not only the further development of the mining profession, but also tying it in with the continuing evolution of cargo hauling, the nascent maturity of piracy, and the future addition of crafting. But up next, let's look now at how weapon zeroing is being used to provide better agency to snipers across the galaxy.
Say I'm on a hilltop somewhere and I'm looking down my scope. If I'm shooting at someone 100 meters away, it generally wouldn't be too much of an issue. But if you start to get to 500 meters, a kilometer, or even further, then you really need to start countering that, and you will need some assistance.
Okay, that is sexy as all hell. But I want to address Limitless Factor's comment where he says, I get it, they don't have the push-pull tech with the tractor beam gun yet, by the way, but it would be cool to see one of the doors in the hangars open up and NPCs bring your boxes out and place them in your ship. Limitless Factor wants that immersive kind of take the time to put all the boxes in the ships, and I think you'll see that as we go forward. But we are not anywhere close to that yet, though, Limitless Factor, but I absolutely agree with you. Damon says they intentionally compartmentalize gameplay to specify ships so they could sell more ships. I kind of agree with you on that, Damon. And that's why I'm saying what I'm saying. And what I said. You understand, Damon? See, Damon knows where I'm going with that conversation right there. Damon's getting a little bit more in depth with that conversation we just had. That's another reason I don't want it just ship specific. You understand, Damon? He does. He's just letting everybody know. He's letting everybody know my mindset on that because he's old school Damon. He understands. ANAC says, by the way, ANAC, what's up, dude? He's going to be so happy when he gets his coffee, man. Oh, he told me he lives out there in the middle of nowhere and he doesn't even have an area he can get coffee at. And he just won a whole bunch of that gamer coffee. He's going to be awake for 7 months. Congratulations, ANAC. I'm going to be shipping that out on Saturday. It was so nice to see you win. So nice to see you win that coffee. What's going on, Max? ANAC says, I was impressed by the detail of the new mining additions and still expect more when we get refining ships. Yes, you will continue to see more. You will continue to see more. It is going to be great. Max says, hello, DG. I just want to say you have a great show and great humor. Thank you, Max. You have good taste, man. You have good taste. Okay, let's get back to this action. Let's get back to this excitement. See, because I start talking this way, and then people don't like the fact that we talk about like industrial things. Some people don't like the industrial talk. Some people want the boom boom. You understand? They want the action. They want the bang bang. And I get it. I get it. I get it. They want to get into this now. The anticipation is palpable. They feel it. It's dripping. It's dripping from every orifice. Clean that up.
The further and further away you get, and that's where weapon zeroing comes in. One of the best and most unique things about Star Citizen is the biggest challenge to any FPS game, and that is the amount of varied environments that we have. So if you think about it, if you go to a different planet or a different moon, the pull of gravity is always going to be different, the environment's going to be completely
We love that
different.
industrial talk here, don't we, Native?
Completely different. Trying to counter those effects and knowing how to counter all of those effects, no matter where you are, is obviously very difficult.
That was a massive headshot. See the range on that?
So different types of projectile, laser, ballistic.
Thank you,
They all
Max.
have different effects in different conditions. So in patch 3.12, we'll be introducing weapon zeroing. Our first offering includes 4 times and upward scope, so you'll be able to use those on your LMGs, your rifles, and your sniper rifles. There are 3 different types of scopes with zeroing on. So we have the most basic version of the scope, which is just the zeroing scope. Right. Generally, I think will be picked up by more experienced players who kind of know combat
exactly,
ranges that
Apollo.
they're going to be in. They can set their scope to that
This
and
is
not have to
looking
worry
clean.
about it anymore. So say if you're in the Crossroads of Crime map and things of
I love that. That guy literally tweeted at 360 from that caliber bullet, man. That was insanely fun to watch right there. That was insanely fun to watch, man. That has to be scripted, man. That has to be scripted. If that is actual physics, man, I would shit myself. If that was actual physics, hold on.
Of war, you know, your engagement distance is roughly 100 meters generally. You can set your scope to that and not have to worry about it again, and it's no faff. The next version up.
They're gonna tell. It's on low gravity. No, I know. I'm saying I would prefer that. I'm saying I want to see that happen. They just don't understand me, I guess.
It's essentially that with a bit of assistance with the rangefinder. So this will be better for kind of, I guess, environments that you're less familiar with, but you still want that personal control over where you're setting your zeroing distance to. So if you're sitting out on a hill,
it is looking so damn clean. Man, these optics are looking so much better. I am very excited about it. Native, right? He's getting very specific on the amount of degree of that spin. Yeah, no, I want that spin. I want that realism. I want the force reactions to be that real. Like when you get hit with a large caliber bullet, boom, you're hurting. You're down on the ground. I want to see it. Eat red.
On a planet somewhere.
That's it. I'm renaming the channel.
Are going to be getting out of their ships at this station, and you want to take them out. Then you can set your zeroing distance, that distance with the assistance of the rangefinder, and you don't have to worry about it again. You don't have to change it. The auto zeroing is probably the most user-friendly version, especially beginner-friendly version, is because you don't really have to worry about obviously cycling through the ranges yourself, and you can just look at your target. The only downside to that is if you are looking at a target and you accidentally look past it when you hit the auto zero button, you might zero to a distance a bit further away or a distance that's a little bit, closer. So it can be a little bit more error prone than the other two. So there are certainly upsides and downsides to all of the options, which is why we've provided them all. So that's weapon zeroing. It's not just another really cool feature we're adding to the game. It's all about giving players choice for equipping themselves out to overcome the obstacles and problems that they encounter out in the universe on all of these, crazy different.
Thank you, Max. Thanks for that subscription, bro. I'm digging it. It's looking nice. It's looking slick. It's looking pretty slick.
Environments that we've got out there. So I'm sure that tons of players will be using these soon and finding them really, really fun. So yeah, thank you very much, and enjoy playing with the new scopes.
It's so damn clean. I
So
love
what
the
did we learn
graphics,
this
dude.
week?
I just love
Well,
the
we
damn
learned that
graphics.
refining means the job is no longer done once you've just extracted all the minerals. That it aims to provide opportunities for occupations adjacent to mining. And that weapon zeroing won't make bad snipers good, but it should make good snipers better. For Inside Star Citizen, I'm Jared Huckabee. We'll see you next week.
Okay. All right. It could have been longer. It could have been longer, but I'll give it a B minus. It could have been produced a little bit better production value on it, but I'll tell you what, still some pretty good information on what we can expect, or at least at first glance. Look at refining. I would love to have a deeper talk on refining once we can play it in 3.12. I think that's going to be important when we can play it. Once I hop in the PTU, once 3.12 gets released on the first wave there, I'll look at it, tell you guys my opinions on it. Guys, thanks for joining me on tonight's show. Those that are live here, we're going to just jump into another topic. We're going to watch Death of a Spaceman because I have not gotten to watch it yet. I'm playing catch up right now, and you guys are just going to be there for me, hold my hand, and be like, hey, yeah, I'm joining you on this experience. Maybe you watched Death of a Spaceman, but you're going to be here with me, and I'm going to react to it because I want to make sure that it stays to the original narrative. Don't spoil it. I don't want you guys to spoil it. Please don't tell me. Oh, my God, I'm going to be so upset if somebody spoils it. I want to know for myself what I want to know because I haven't watched it yet. So I'm going to watch Death of a Spaceman. For those of you watching this on YouTube, thank you very much. Don't forget to like and share the ISCR. That's the Inside Star Citizen Review. Don't forget to come here live and be part of the action with the family. Today was a very serious episode. A lot of good talks. A lot of intellectual talks today. Not a lot of goofing around today. We were serious business mode today on today's ISCR. And that's because we were talking about business. We were taking care of business. Taking care of business every day. That's what we were doing here. Taking care of business, working overtime. Okay. Thanks very much for joining me here. See all the YouTubers on the next vid or stream. And for you guys that are here live, we're going to be watching Death of a Spaceman. Let's get ready and let's have some fun. Yeah.